Why so, Sigma?
The Banana Eats Halloween event update thing was to just find 13 pumpkins scattered across different maps, with 2 being in the lobby. So I'll just talk about the game itself. Banana Eats is kind of like Dead by Daylight, but instead of hot women such as the Huntress and sexy men such as the Unknown, it's a giant banana who hungers for human flesh and looks like a minion. I never got to play as the banana, but being a runner was pretty enjoyable. Of course, there are better Dead by Daylight-like games on Roblox, and some games have a similar concept but have a bit more, quality. One of my personal favorites of the Haunt, based on simplicity and replayability. Oh yeah, if you get the 13 pumpkins, you get a skin for the banana.
The fruit with the least antioxidants is bananas. The fruit with the most vitamin C is mango.
The Mimic is probably one of the more high-quality horror games featured in The Haunt. The event for the Mimic is apparently a rework or a revamp of a previous Halloween event thing. In the Halloween game mode or event or whatever, just like Piggy, there's a whole entire chapter unique to this event. However, you are kind of forced to play with multiple people. I do not know if there are more than 2 sections, because my entire team died at the second section. But, to my knowledge, there are 2 sections. You and your team have infinite lives in each section, and each one is played a little different from the last. In the first section, there's 1 monster, a safe room, and a bunch of other branching rooms. The players are supposed to check under beds and sinks and tables for keys. There are 3 keys, with each one correlating to a different safe. Inside each safe is an item you need to burn in the safe room. The monster roams around, and if it sees you, it will begin chasing you until it kills you, or you make it into the safe room. The monster doesn't like music, and the safe room is playing a whole lot of music. Once all 3 items are burnt, you and your team moves on to Section 2. In Section 2, you are in a house with multiple floors, 1 monster, and no safe room. The monster, from me dying every other second, seems to spawn randomly. Or maybe I was just unlucky. After a while, a whole lot of candles will be pinged, and you and your team are supposed to light up at least 9 candles every 2 minutes for 4 rounds. Now, like I said, I have no clue if there's more than 2 sections, because me and my team couldn't even get past the first round. The event was pretty good, and the designs of the 2 monsters were kind of bland, I'll be honest, but it got the job done of scaring the shit out of me. Royal High. I have some memories of this game, but I'm not going to use a joke I already used in the hunt. Oh my god, I'm bald! After putting my wig back on and changing my nickname to be more appropriate to my cosplay, I began my adventure to the Falling Leaves Festival. And by adventure, I mean I teleported. And after teleporting, I accidentally tried to break in with no tickets, before going back to the front to grab my 20 tickets. Now, it's a festival. So many things to do in the dead of the night. I could ride a ride, I could play a game, or I rented a vacuum cleaner and cleaned up 500 leaves. 70% of this footage is me vacuuming leaves, then baking a pumpkin pie. But as I was going to put the pumpkin pie in the oven, the game dragged me to the pits of royal hell and sent me back to the spawn. My pie is probably burnt, and I am not getting it back. The event was pretty lackluster for it being a festival. There was only like 4, maybe 5 things to do there, and the other things I didn't do because they were timed, and I was in the middle of vacuuming leaves. In short, the event was pretty mid.
Who's got the rap bombs to drop on Goosey Links? Last name Man, first name Super!
Pet Sim 99. Pet Sim 99, Pet Sim 99, Pet Sim 99. Oh, where do I begin with this game? I unfortunately spent the most time in this game. I don't like the game. I was just playing to try and get to the end so I can explain what the end is like, and by end, I mean the end of the Halloween event area. Because they did that. Yeah, There are 8 zones, each one getting progressively harder than the last, but also have eggs that reward far greater pets the further you go. RNG is a heavy factor in this event. There are trick-or-treat areas that you can access, but you need a mask to enter the trick-or-treat thing. How do you get the mask, you ask? Well, it drops randomly! And it might be the rarest thing in fucking existence, because I only got 1 mask over the span of a good 2 or 3 hours. The event was fine, I guess. Not the best so far, but not the worst either. Either way, it makes me want to buy a plush just to video record myself burning it in my backyard. Let's move on. I don't like murder mystery. 2. And similar to that of My Hero, I don't like the game because of the community. With that out the way, I spent 17 minutes recording the wrong game mode. However, I did record the funniest ass off between K-Dot, no, not that one, and Lovey Dovey. Now, when I was recording the right game mode, I dreaded every second. It's about as you'd expect from Murder Mystery 2. A lot of e-boys and e-girls, and everyone talking in either another language, enchantment table, or very spoiled individual that has never heard the word no. Now, as a Hiroshi cosplayer, I almost looked in theme with everyone else, except for the fact that I wasn't green or blue. I have no idea what it was about, but half the people in the server I was in were green. There was only 1 guy that was blue, and 1 that was orange. It's crazy! Now the event itself in the game mode. What do you earn and how do you earn it? Well, you need to talk to Zaddy Dilf Dracula and talk to him about the game mode. Then, you can see some milestones for killing people as a vampire. Now, I, as a new player, did not do well at all. Most of the time, it was luck that I killed someone before getting shot. Sometimes I got shot as an innocent person. The game mode isn't all too difficult from the normal game mode. Only differences are that there are 3 murderers, and the murderers can turn into bats for some reason. There's also candy that spawns, and that candy serves as a way of leveling up a battle pass. I will not be completing this event. I almost crashed out having to play it for more than 5 minutes. Dragon Adventures. Oh, how I missed the 2-month period where this wasn't in a Roblox event. I joke, of course. The game is surprisingly high in quality, and I get an overwhelming joy every time I get to play on this game for a video, so I can flaunt my very scaly goat, Super Saiyan 2 Fajita. Dragon Adventures has its own entire world dedicated to Halloween, along with a set of challenges. After talking to this orange-colored oddsock from Little Big Planet, he gives me some candies and I get to explore the spooky castle. In the spooky castle, I get to walk up to these very glowy doors where I knock on the door and I'm forced to do a memory puzzle to earn candies. Luckily, I used to be a demon on the My Singing Monsters memory game, so these trick-or-treating doors were no match for me. I also had to catch 2 ghosts to collect their eggs, and then spend 250 candies to unchain this chest thing so I can fight a boss within the spooky manor that is inside of a chest, inside of a castle. That makes a lot of sense. There's some other guy fighting the boss with me, so I was low-key being carried once again. But eventually, me, this other guy, and my totally superior dragon beat up this spooky demon dragon thing. I eventually got most of the challenges done. I say most because there was 1 quest to trick-or-treat with other players, and low-key, I ain't doing all that. Once again, another banger event from Dragon Adventures.
Oh, moons! Is that better?
Blair does have a Halloween update, but not necessarily an event. In their Halloween update, they added 2 new maps, the Abandoned House and Mulberry Lane. Now, Blair itself is trying to be like Phasmophobia. I was never able to get into Phasmophobia, even after one of my friends in the past tried to get me into it. And let me tell you, this Roblox experience was not doing it any justice. First map I loaded into solo, which was Mulberry Lane, I experienced a million glitches right at the start. One of the more important ones being that the spirit box was super glued to my hand and would not get off. I eventually just guessed the ghost and left to play the other map. The abandoned house is a cool concept, but I have no clue if it was my eyes being bad or my PC having doo-doo brightness, but I had no clue where I was going. After like 6 minutes of walking around like a headless chicken, I just gave up and left the game. Moving on. Now, I've been talking for a while, and I thought, hey, I got some people to help me during the hunt, so why don't I get people to help me in the hunt? Well, that's exactly what I am doing. So, sit back, feel relieved you aren't going to hear my voice for a while, and relax while my buddy ISO talks about the next couple of games.
Hey, what's up guys? It's me, ISO. And if you're already somewhat tired of hearing my voice, let me just say one thing.
I will be over when I die.
And to keep things simple for you guys, we are covering The Haunting. I don't know if you can tell by the title, but we are. For me specifically, I will be covering 2 games. The first one is Pull a Sword, and the second one is Adopt Me. Now enjoy, I guess. Now lock the fuck in.
Gideon Psalms 1. Watching Downfall of Ming Dynasty.
That shit hurt, bro. That shit hurt. Like, it hurt me to my core. I felt so like grateful. Like,
forget everything, let's just hop straight into Pull a Sword. And just like last time, you're gonna walk through the event portal. Then presto, you're in Spooky Town, where you gotta start from 0. So I popped up the auto clicker so I can AFK. Once done, I pull out the starter sword and beat this Frankenshot. Then I gotta grind again so I can beat these mummies that give me keys to this tower that I have to beat in order to earn a sword to speed up my progress. Grind time, I guess.
So I'm eating dinner, and bro ate dinner. I've got to see that, because eating dinner in 2024 is crazy. That is such a eating dinner sentence, like, bro is dinner maxing. We got bro eating dinner before GTA 6. Bro thinks he's Casio. Bro might be eating dinner. I went to Eating Dinner Town and everyone knew me. Bro done fan and tags his own food. Eating dinner won't pay the bills when I'm in an eating dinner competition and my opponent is you. Ah, cut. Eating dinner is so real. The eating dinner glazing is crazy. Eating dinner core goes crazy, not gonna lie. If you're eating dinner, consider yourself an op. I'm so sorry. Sorry, bro, sorry, Maxine. Being dead is kind of gay, not gonna lie.
After this was when I remembered to auto-train, though my inability to see is irrelevant. When we finally enter the tower, insert Nuxtaku, we have to go through multiple mummies. Once we reach the top, we need to pull a sword. Doing this tower 6 times will actually give you the sword. I went grinding more since I now have to get through the medium tower. So I kept grinding and failed to realize that not even 100 million strength is enough to beat this tower. See, I'm on a time limit, and I don't have all day to beat this game, so to summarize, the rest of the game, beat the green dudes for the medium tower, and vampires for the hard. Then after you take down this Endbringer to access the last area, well, let's be on that point, I have no idea. You'll have to look it up on YouTube since the event is done. Adopt Me, better known as an alternative to sleeping pills, is pretty easy. You collect purple pumpkins hidden around the map and earn candy corn. You earn this candy corn through going to Dr. Cricket's lab located in the town. This is where you'll spend these candy corn for items. How you earn these is simple. You need to play through a glass floor minigame. Here's some clips from the minigame. The last thing to mention about the game is this graveyard. This area unlocks after being in the lobby for 15 minutes. In here are graves you pillage, assuming only for candy. The first one is free, but the guy at the gate will charge you $6.50 in-game money to do another. There's not much more to say about this game, so I'll be heading off for now. I am ISO Freaky. Thanks for watching.
what I will ask you though is, can you give me one more day? I'm not asking you for a week. I'm not asking you for a month. I'm not asking you for a year. Can you give me one more day?
I hope that kid is rescued and brought back to his family. No one deserves to go through such a traumatic event like this.
Horse Life's Halloween update has a lot of stuff connected to it, such as exclusive items, minigames, and quests connected to it. Of course, I didn't do every quest because I am not one of those people who would growl at people in middle school and get on all fours to show dominance or some shit like that. What I'm saying is that I am not a horse girl, cause 1, I'm not a girl, 2, I don't live in Texas. As mentioned, Horse Life has quests, and those quests give you souls for completing them. Wait a damn minute! Jokes aside, the minigames were kind of mid, if I'm being honest. The 3 I played had me picking out pumpkins, bobbing for apples, and defending a cornfield from crows by walking in the circles. Very riveting gameplay, I know. As I will repeat, there are people that like these games, and they are obligated to their own opinion. But this game, not for me. Let's move on.
Where are the big booty goth bitches?
You're talking to me right here. I'm right here.
Scary Sushi's Halloween change is collecting candy, and that candy gives you rewards. Yay! Please just fucking end me. Scary Sushi, despite the name at first making me believe there is an evil piece of sushi chasing you, it's actually instead about you and about 7 other people being... It's actually instead about you and about 7 other people being chefs and making sushi. The kitchen you're in is also connected to a back hallway things, and these hallways connect to where rice grains and 99-cent seaweed and fish and vegetables and other ingredients are grown. However, you are not safe at all. I only got to course 3 before getting my shit clapped by Norman the janitor, so I have no clue if there are more monsters, but from what I have played, there are 3 monsters. Norman the janitor, Oscar the massive fucking squid, and radish woman named Ivy. Game's cool, I guess. Just ain't for me. Color or Die's Halloween event is a bunch of challenges. That's it. Moving. I'm kidding. Let's talk about the game. Color or Die is a game where you collect brushes and paint buckets and do like puzzles and stuff. However, the walls are different colors. And for what purpose? Well, there's a monster, and that monster can only see you if you are not pressed up against a wall that is the same color as you. There are buckets around the map. Once picked up, turn you into a different color, but I wasn't able to find any bucket other than red because I have a skill issue. Either I have a skill issue or the game needs to explain how to play the fucking game better. Cause 90% of the footage is me walking around and getting marked by the giant stickman monster. I don't say the game has good replayability, in my opinion. It is not at all simple, and you need to look up some guide made by Mr. Raffle Waffle, cause completing this game is like some kind of fucking Call of Duty Easter egg. I don't want to talk about this game for longer than I need to, so I'll leave it alone at how I already explained it. Moving on. Slap Battles is back once again. The Halloween event is a rerun of last year, but with the candy corn cap increased to 2,000. Collecting candy corn is simple. You see them, you walk to them, and you get one. That's right. 1 fucking candy corn. And the game expects you to collect 2,000 while being constantly pressured by sweat in the game, with gloves unlocked after thousands, possibly millions of slaps. I never liked Slap Battles inclusion ever since The Hunt, but I guess there are people out there that do like the game, so I can't be Sir Complaining the Third, can I?
¡Te voy a ganar! ¡No!
Doors is one of the most popular horror games on Roblox. So popular, in fact, that Doors has fallen victim on multiple occasions to YouTube content farms. I was playing this with Sleepy Hollow Central at like 11 p.m. playing this game to try to beat it. Farthest we got was a little past door 50. The gimmick of Door's Halloween event is that there is a new purple and spooky elevator that takes you to a special version of the hotel with a special modifier. Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat makes candy spawn really commonly throughout the hotel, all with random effects each time you start a run. I also suspect that it maybe makes Jack spawn a bit more frequently, because within the 5 rounds, or 5 runs, that me and Sleepy Hollow did, we saw Jack like twice, and in my, like at least 100 deaths playing Doors, I've not seen him once. The candies can range from healing you, giving you a speed boost, and spawning in an item, to straight up just fucking killing you, or spawning Dread. This one was super fun, and I would probably go out of my way to go all the way through Door 100 after uploading this, episode.
For 1 hook too, is that too much to ask for? Seriously?
Keys, similar to Banana Eats, is just about collecting pumpkins around various maps for rewards. Keys itself is a very interesting game with even more interesting monsters. The whole gameplay loop of Keys is that you spawn in on a map, find keys, open doors, profit. It's pretty boring and gets repetitive fast, but I guess it makes sense for a horror game probably made for little babies. The monsters are easy to evade, and none of them are particularly that scary. I mean, come on, they have fucking abstracts from the Amazing Digital Circus. They're not even trying to hide anything. I don't know why Keys always seems to come back in these Roblox events, but I guess it wouldn't be the silliest thing Roblox has done when it comes to picking games for their events.
I got one more question for you. What is your biggest turn on?
Are you kidding me? Nothing gets past my bow.
What the fuck?
A Dusty Trip had an entire map for the Halloween event. Yippee! I can finally talk about the event map rather than the game itself, but I'll go over it really quick. The long drive. Yeah, that's it. The event map was an interesting experience. You spawn in and you're instructed to build a car. Not the black one, but the yellow one. Trust me, I know this because of a previous recording that I deleted. Once you built the car, you need to just, drive. After about 1,000 meters, you come upon a town. You need to go ring doorbells of the houses like you're trick-or-treating, and not like you have an AK in your trunk and a scythe in the back seat. But the first doorbell you ring, a witch! First boss battle of the event. The witch is invincible for most of the fight, yet you can see her, so I don't know what the game is on about. Eventually she'll get worn out, and that's when you can start lighting her up. You have to do this 3 times to fully kill her, at least in solo mode. Then, after murdering the witch by mag dumping her 17 times, you can continue your journey of driving on a straight road. Then, you come across an abandoned house in the middle of the fucking street. Your character complains about fog, but then starts suffocating. So you need to get into the house and defend it from 3 waves of zombies. How the house protects you from fog that's legit suffocating you? I don't know, maybe it has a good AC that's still working. After defending the house, you need to drive. It's all driving, 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 it's all driving! Eventually you get stopped because of an opening in the mountain being blocked by magic. So the only logical thing to do is to climb that mountain. Once you get to the top of the mountain, you're faced with the second boss, the Headless Horseman! Just like the witch, he has invulnerability, and you have to mag dump him 17 times. After defeating him, you get the pumpkin launcher from Fortnite, so just throw it in the back of your car and keep driving. I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue what else is beyond that point because, I got my car stuck and died. Yeah. Let's move on before I myself die of embarrassment. Tower Defense Simulator had a whole 3-level event for Halloween. Now, while there was some kind of story, I wasn't really paying attention to the story that was trying to be told. All I know is that there are some huge, hunky, sexy men that want to go into some kind of portal that's powered by, like, a god cube or something. I have no clue. Luckily, in this event, Like every other prior from Tower Defense Simulator, even if you're just starting off, the game will give you a team comp specifically for the event. However, you get to choose one of 3 different teams. It's unfortunately the only other tower defense game in the event and has a lot of quality for it being a one-off event thing. I mean, there was a cutscene in full voice acting, probably one of the best games in the event. Now, I couldn't get footage for nights 2 and 3 because I low-key have a skill issue and lost on night 1 and rage quit to play a better tower defense. All in all, I enjoyed the game's event way more than some of the other games in the Haunt so far.
Fortnite, what the fuck did you do to my fucking agency? What the fuck is a dog pound? Why the fuck is Snoop?
Piggy released a whole special chapter specifically for a Halloween event, and despite how I feel about Piggy itself and its super edgy Peppa Pig OCs, this chapter was actually pretty good. Now, I haven't played much of Piggy myself, but based off of my limited knowledge of it being a shitty granny clone with Peppa Pig edgelords, this chapter alone makes me want to give Piggy another chance. Maybe if you guys want me to make a video about giving Piggy and all its chapters another chance, let me know by hitting that like button and smashing subscribe and telling me in the comments. Now let's get into the chapter itself. I was low-key locked in on trying to complete this event chapter because at this point, this was my 4th recording on this chapter because of how big of a skill issue I have. You spawn in on the ground and you're like looking for your little sister or something. So you get up and obtain a crossbow that seems to materialize an infinite amount of carrots as an ammo source. You jump into the train tunnel and walk until you need to shoot a board on the roof that drops another board that lets you cross this massive pit. Then you walk around the train tunnels going into different rooms to find keys and unlock doors and find keys and unlock doors and find keys and unlock doors and shoot some people. I had some trouble in this section on screen because at first I had no clue if you were supposed to stand on the ceiling fan blade and have them deliver you to the other side of the room. It just didn't make logical sense to me. But eventually I figured it out and was able to progress farther into the chapter. Low-key, I have like no clue what was going on. I was kind of just speedrunning. But eventually, I got to this point where you enter and then leave some vents, and you are shown a key out in the open. Once you pick up the key, you are forced into a chase. Now what I didn't know is that I would need to use that key at the end of a chase. So, when I figured that out and I turned around, there was this lanky-ass bunny right in front of me who proceeds to vor me right there in the tunnels. That being my 4th recording and how stupid my death was, I kind of maybe sort of began to crash out and just gave up. Either way, my hate bias aside, I think the chapter was fairly enjoyable and might be one of the only things that was enjoyable about this Roblox event.
I got a Dotson on them motherfucker. Fuck.
Toilet Tower Defense had a whole map going on for its Halloween event, but it was hard. But, to be fair, I have very basic units that were actually really shitty, so I was low-key getting carried by the 4 other people I hopped in the game with. We were doing fine up until about round 30 when everything just froze randomly. Me and everyone else decided to take the easy win. It was 50 waves of non-stop skibbity toilets, and let me tell you, these toilets had a lot of health, sometimes reaching the millions of health. At the end of the event, we were forced to fight a 10 million HP Grim Reaper. I personally like tower defense games, but something about toilet tower defense just feels wrong playing. I don't know what it is about it that feels wrong about it, but if anything, it's the fact that it's based around skibbity toilet and not like any other IP. Let's move on before my brain rots more than it already has. Oh man, these games are a lot for 2 people, don't you think? Well, best believe I have another person on this video. That's right, a double feature film for the spooky season. I'd like to reintroduce my feminine fellow that I featured back on The Hunt, Sleepy Hollow Central. She will be covering the next couple of games, and hopefully you enjoy.
Welcome to the fair. It's not fun. This event is basically a glorified fetch quest to get very specific items, which include the Jars of Ghosts. I don't know why they're there, but they're here. Tickets to the SpongeBob movie! Invite 3 of your friends, disturb the dead like 20 times, collect the souls of the innocent, and have some candy. Wait, what's that? Is that...
Shawty's like a melody and
And with those tickets to the SpongeBob movie, you can gamble them. Hikari would be very proud with this decision. Now let's talk about how you can get these things. You can find the tickets around the map as loot. Same goes with the candy. You can also find the jars around the map. You need 100 of those things. This guy fucking loves his jars, huh? Disturbing the peace, the dead, is simple. You just have to find his grave. It's really that simple. You gotta walk over it. And honestly, I really don't know how you're supposed to collect the souls of the innocent. I just think you have to kill people with it, which you're easily able to do. Seriously, you can one-tap people. You are way faster than them. Or they can get revived, but it won't do much for long, as you can just target them again, and then they're dead as soon as you say... Oh, and by the way, the way to get all these things, minusing the jar, you have to win as the survivor, which, just as I just mentioned before, is nearly impossible, because as soon as you get even touched, you're in the corner, and Remy's having a buffet. I'll turn this guy into a flea, then place it in a box, and put that box inside another box, Amazon deliver that to me, and then smash it with a hammer! Oh, and inviting 3 of your friends, if you even have any, is the easiest thing for this event. If you even want to call it that. Yeah, overall, I didn't like this one. Ethan, why did you make me pick this one?
Oh man, I'm gonna get so many chicks with this thing!
Welcome to the Raveyard. Now get ready to have your shit beaten and told to fuck off by a skeleton that tells you to stick his finger. This event is simply another story. You have to shut down this graveyard that happens annually, and you and your friends have to do it. You are as expendable as the Lethal Company workers and work for $7.25 an hour. However, your pay is only if you live. As like I said, you will get your shit beaten by some skeletons. Now you can also collect some trash, which is very useful for the environment, but also makes your paycheck go up by like 5 cents. Keep these for later though, trust me. You will encounter the bouncer, who will basically tell you to fuck off because, well, you simply have skin, and that is a problem for him. And by just running past him, you will piss him off. And by the way, this dude's somehow Australian.
Nobody likes to be hated by the population.
And I'm not kidding when I say this. This is probably the easiest part of the event. Seriously, if you know where you're going, you quite literally cannot get hit by this nobody wants to be hated by the population guy. After you shut the door on your boyfriend after he tries to make you do the shimmy shimmy a, you are inconveniently blocked on Twitter, and now you have to go through the secret bit. And now everything's blank. Great. Where is this going exactly? Oh, that's what it is. I'm sure in the thick of it now. Now we have to deal with a skeleton centipede that shouldn't even be in the water. This dude is comparable as the Scooby-Doo, and which you gotta get out to places where he just can't reach. Like, bro is just a fucking baby. That's not all. Remember that trash I told you to keep? Yeah, now you can get drunk. Like that one friend in high school. And then you can throw someone out the window. And you finally find this plank, and... we finally get out of the sewage, and we finally see this tall-ass door. And... oh. Is that fucking creek face, dude? Now we are introduced to what is called the PVC lanterns, in which you want to stare at them with light. But just like Basement Dweller, do not do that for too long, or they will beat you up. Yeah, welcome to the freak-offs. You're practically running this blind, if you want to, which will work. Just please have night vision and not just turn up your gamma rays. After you finally get outside of the castle, you then now have to fight the Australians again.
Nobody likes to be...
and now there's 2 of them! And I remember this one time Ethan went through this, trying to finish this event, and he got pummeled to death by both bouncers. I don't know, I just feel like I need to mention that. Afterwards, you make it to the church of Elon Musk, and the big man himself isn't very happy about you shutting down his $50K purchase of Sony feet pics, and starts shaking the goddamn thing. But luckily, we shut down Twitter just in time before Lunchlink gets resold again.
My cheese drippy, bruh.
And now we can finally celebrate getting $7.25 from just that single expedition, in which my ennui looking ass carried the whole freaking thing. Yeah, take notes, EthanNekoDLC, and overall, I enjoyed the silly little graveyard shift, but I still need my $7.25 and my moldy cheese, Ethan.
Look how this jolly man gives a present to his friend.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best
Oh my God, thank you so much. You are such a good friend.
I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup.
Ooh. Yeah, this is here. Dress to Impress, unfortunately, has a lot to talk about in the form of a story mode? Yeah, for a game like Dress to Impress, they added a whole mode that has its own story. Like many other stories, I wasn't paying attention, and all I know is that there is some woman named Lana, and that's it. Now let's talk about the story mode itself. There are 3 chapters. As I don't remember the chapter names, I'll just make up my own. I'll call them the house, the hospital, and the labyrinth. Let's start with chapter 1, the house. You start off spawn next to this well or light post or something. You are instructed to find Lana's childhood home before dark, which means you need to find this house that's almost on the edge of the map in under 2 minutes, which was a pain in the ass and had me stressing out thinking I wasn't going to make it to the house in time. After getting into the front area of the house, a cutscene will play, where Lana explains that she needs to leave, but cannot leave until she gets her essential items. These essential items, in heavy quotations, are a teddy bear, a camera, a palette, a journal, a Greek mythology book, and a nail file. One of these things is not like the others. You are tasked with looking around Lana's home to find keys that unlock different rooms in her house, one of which opening some kind of bunker, and one opening her attic. However, the task isn't so easy, because there's a monster in her home. I have no clue what this monster is supposed to be, but it looks like some kind of conjoined person, people? Who cares? After you bring every item to Lana, another cutscene will play where she gaps for a minute before being shown getting driven off in the back of a van. Then you are teleported to Chapter 2, the hospital. In the hospital, you are tasked with finding 6 different map pieces, which, while it wasn't too hard to find 5 of them, I did have to look up where the 6th one is. While looking for the 6 map pieces, you will be getting occasionally chased down by the nurse, and oh boy, let me tell you, I may be already dating someone, but oh mama, this nurse makes me want to be in the hospital. But actually not, because although it says it's a medical center, it is very much a children's hospital. Every room looks like it would belong to a kid, and considering this game and their devs, all I'm gonna say is that's kind of ironic that it takes place in the children's hospital. Anyway, once you get the 6 map pieces, you're able to enter this door that was originally blocked off. After getting to the door, you are forced into a chase scene. Now, if you're able to fight the urges of letting the nurse catch up to you, you'll eventually make it to the end and reach Chapter 3, the labyrinth. It starts with a cutscene, and from what I'm getting from it, you need to find Lana in this maze thing. There's a sign that says something about, oh, the light leading the way or something, but I'll be honest, no matter how much light I followed, I never found shit. So after a solid, 5 or 6 minutes in the maze, I kind of gave up and let myself get hit by the retracting spikes. Overall, it was a decent story mode thing, and very expected thing coming from a game like Dress to Impress, but I felt uncomfortable playing this game knowing what I know about the developers. That's the end of this video. It's a bit of a long one, and I apologize if it sounded like I was trying to be a little quick with some of the games. As much as I wanted to explain every little detail of each event, I also wanted the video to release as soon as possible. And as you can see, it's the start of November. I wanted to release this by Halloween, but clearly I kinda failed with that. But that's fine. As many people say, I'm only human. Hopefully, I can upload a bit more than I have been going into November and December. But, for the moment, I have talked about all I wanted to talk about for this Roblox event. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you right now. Goodbye. Check out ISO Dofi and Sleepy Hollow Central's channels. Okay, bye.